moment, set up.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
We're all good, guys? All right. Coach, whenever you're ready, sir.
All right, it's always good to win on homecoming, right? And, I think that we talked specifically to the team about taking great pride in representing such a special place, right? University of Florida is a special and unique place. It's impacted a lot of lives, right, for the better. And I think our guys worked extremely hard to be well prepared today. And it was a team win, right? It wasn't necessarily the best of any of the three phases of the game, but we did just enough, to score on defense, to have a game-changing play in the punt return, to rush for 200 yards. And certainly Anthony made his plays that impacted the game. And defensively, at times, we played really good out there, and obviously gave up some third downs. But it was truly a team win, right? And the intangibles that we developed with this group of players, I'm proud of that. They continued to kind of respond and play through the ups and downs of the game. We're thankful. So, good team win. What questions we got?
Go with Badger.
Yeah. Billy, what did you guys do? What'd you do to kind of shift things at halftime offensively? Because you guys seemed to find something. You had 4 30-yard runs in the second half after not doing much.
Yeah, we only had 19 plays, I think, in the first half, right? So we had very few opportunities. And a lot of those 19 were situational football, right? They were red zone, they were third down. So very few plays, kind of what we would call normal down and distance. So we had a lot left on the call sheet. But really some of those same concepts, we just were a little more precise. And I thought our guys up front did a good job, good vision. Obviously, you could see the backs. We got it to the second level. I think overall, and then Anthony made plays with his feet, huge plays with his feet in the game on fourth down, on third down. It was a team win. We didn't necessarily, wasn't anything great on offense, defense, and special teams, but the combination of those three got it done. Ton of respect for Missouri. They got a tough, resilient football team that's very capable.
Looking at the stat sheet and then looking at his uniform, I mean, where would this team be without Ventrell Miller on defense?
Man, I don't know how many times, they've got a play that looks like it's going to develop, and then 51 just comes out of nowhere, right? I mean, the guys Ventrell is productive as a player, right? But it's more impactful than just the production. That's the thing that's significant. I mean, the guy's inspirational relative to his example, his consistency as a person, his leadership, his presence. He makes other people around him better. And certainly that showed up today.
Billy, you had 4 sacks, 13 tackles for loss, and a couple of interceptions. Would you say that's progress considering all things?
Yeah, against a team I think that's very capable. The only thing you would probably be frustrated about with the defense would be some of those third and longs we gave up late in the game, right? Outside of that, we put them on a short field after the sack fumble, right? Overall they did extremely well. We made progress, I think, relative to the challenge Missouri presents, the gap integrity with all the outside zone, the shots. We kept everything in front of us for the most part.
And Jaden Hill?
Yeah, Jaden Hill. I failed to mention Jaden. And, he was the first person that we called up in front of the team. If we were giving out game balls, we'd give one to him today, right? But, what a story, right? If you really dig into what the young man's been through, the ACL in high school, the ACL here early in his career, then the LCL, the discipline to continue the rehab, the toughness, to stay the course, right? He's got passion about this game. I always felt like watching him in spring ball that he was one of the best players we had, but that showed up today. And, his character, guys stayed the course, man. And to get him back, he was a difference maker today.
Mike Bianchi.
Coach, can you just talk about your teams? I mean, every game it seems has been, except for last week, has been pretty close games. Your team's ability to stay in games. You like to win them all, but you've been in every game and you're winning some of the close ones.
Yeah, I think we're built. We have not executed our formula to win games at the rate in which we would desire at any point. I think we're very much a work in progress, but I do believe in this group relative to the fight that they show, the competitive spirit, the intangibles. I think we've developed some togetherness. There's some chemistry there, and I think that's getting stronger. We're learning how to practice. But I do think that we're built to play winning football. I mean, we've got a formula that's won a lot of games, and I think we're getting better at that process, and I'm hopeful we can win more in the future.
Billy, how good was it to see X break one in the punt return game, and just especially in that moment there?
It was the one area in the kicking game going into the game we felt like we had some opportunity to make some money, right, to make some hay. And, great call. Got a fieldable punt. Special teams is about winning one-on-ones, right? When we pull that clip up, we're going to see our guys. Gators are winning one-on-ones. And I think that Xavier's been waiting on that opportunity. We got him loose, right? We talked about giving him an opportunity, and we finally did that today.
And how concerning was the missed field goals and just kind of that trend there?
They're both deep. I think that's one thing to consider there, right? So I think I can help them, right? I mean, that's what I think about. I think I can help them manage in the game there a little bit, right? We had a couple, two-play sequences there where I think I can coach better. But ultimately, we put him out there. We expect him to make it, And, Adam's been huge for us so far this year. He missed a few today, much like there's several things I could have done better today, right? So no player goes out there and is perfect, right? And I know Adam will respond the right way going forward.
Kevin?
Your first SEC win and the first SEC win for this team in almost a year. What does that mean for the team psyche, and what does that show in terms of maybe the growth also of where you guys are?
Well, I think it shows we're capable, I think you guys are evaluating the team much like I evaluate the team, right? I mean, we're a very capable group, right? We're still not as precise and as detailed as we need to be in a lot of areas, but we are getting there. And the one thing about that group is as you can hear, they're a competitive, fiery group, right? So I think we got the right makeup. We're growing up some young players. And ultimately, at some point here, we'll continue to get better. That's going to be, there's going to be some momentum that comes with that, right? And I'm hopeful that we can remain humble and we can evaluate this game independent of the outcome and see the things that we could have done better, and then go back to work on improve and get ready for the next one.
Matt Baker?
Hey, Billy, congrats. You mentioned the third and longs that you gave up in the fourth quarter. Any commonalities there that you saw without watching the film yet?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I can talk to you about that on Monday. But, third and long, the national average is under 15%, right? So when you give up that many, there's some things you need to look at. But it's all very fixable, I think.
And what was your assessment of Anthony's play overall?
No, I think we gave him more opportunities. That's a tough defensive group if we haven't figured it out, right? I mean, they've been playing good defense outside of the Kansas State game, which, really, if you think about that game, the offense turned the ball over quite a bit. A lot of short fields, return game touchdown. So that group's played really good defense the entire year, and Anthony did enough. He did enough to win. His team won today. So when you're playing quarterback, that's the goal.
David Whitley?
Billy, you talked about intangibles a lot with this team and how you're pleased with that. Could you be more specific, like it's just a fight? And is that something that just comes organically? Can you coach that into?
Well, you'd like to think you spend an entire year developing it, right? We talk about integrity a lot with our players, the ability to tell yourself the truth. Oftentimes, you're doing things halfway, or you're doing things that are wrong. You're doing things you shouldn't be doing. Do you have the courage to correct those things, right? Does your yes mean yes? Does your no mean no? And oftentimes that comes with a commitment level to the other players on the team, right? You know, relative to the way you're living your life. We talk about togetherness, you know, being a great teammate, you know, embracing your role, right? Working hard to earn more, you know, being a loyal guy, a guy that people can count on. And then the discipline part, I think is huge relative to self-discipline, and also your ability to execute in a critical moment and do your job when it matters most for the team. So toughness is a huge part of it, and I think that the mental toughness is something you work, you know, that's an off-season program, that's a summer approach, that's how you practice in training camp. I do firmly believe that all these things are things that you can develop, right? And there's no ceiling to how good you can get at them, right? They're not going to get any taller, right? Maybe they get a little bit faster. Maybe they jump a little bit higher. Maybe their 5'10", 5 shuttle gets a little bit better. But all these things that we're talking about here, those are things that players can work on, right? And they can continue to grow. You know, I think that that's ultimately what we're trying to do with this group of players.
You're 4-2 now, and I think most fans will probably figure that's about where you'd be right now. Where do you see it as far as the progress and where you expect it to be or where you hope to be right now?
Yeah, that's more than a press conference. You know, I mean, I think that, you know, I got a long list of things that we can do better, right? And that list, it's there every morning when I wake up, right? And it's there when I go to bed at night, you know. And all we can do is we just continue to work, right? Every single day we're working to improve, right? We're working to eliminate the deficiencies that we have. You know, we got lots of people that contribute to our team, not just players, but staff members. So we're consumed with making that list smaller, right? And I think that every team in this game, you know, that list is always there, you know. So I think we got a lot of work to do. That's what I would say.
Time for a few more. Go to Alan.
Hey, Billy, right before halftime, Missouri sort of scrambling to get on the field. Was there a personnel issue that forced you to call that timeout?
I wanted to make sure we had the right personnel on the field, right? And, you know, it felt like that little helter-skelter there relative to not only their ability to get on the field, but our ability to get 11 out there, right? So, and then also wanted to execute the rush. I mean, we're talking about a chip shot to some degree relative to the distance. You know, what would you do normally? You would call a timeout or two and freeze the guy, right? So I wanted to make sure we had the right personnel. Relative to substitutions, we had just played with a dime package on the field. We're trying to get the base. And then also wanted to try to execute the rush as best we could there, and we ended up freezing the guy. He made the kick, but I felt like we made that decision in the best interest of the team.
Sure. And on that 4th and 2 that Anthony converted seconds after coming out of the medical tent, sort of gimpy, you know, what was – I don't assume it was a delayed draw. I think he probably made a play, right?
Yeah, no, he got a little banged up, nothing major, was able to go back in the game. Yeah, there's no question. He went through the complete progression and pulled the ball down and made the first down.
Thanks.
All right. Good. Thank you, Coach. Oh, you got one more? Yeah.
Building on Princely's performance, just how do you feel like he's responded the past 2 weeks just to the lineup change and especially coming out today?
Yeah, no, I mean, Princely had a great week, right? He had a good perform well last week and then certainly had a great week of practice. Got a ton of confidence in Princely relative to his ability and his role in the team, and guys contributed in a really good way a lot of times this year, right? So Princely's got tools, man. He's got a bright future, and certainly was big a lot of times today.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you all.
When you guys get in the back.
How you doing?
All good. All right, guys, we're joined by Anthony Richardson. We'll start with Edgar Thompson.
Getting off the losing streak in the SEC, just how important is that for this team? And mean, you were aware you guys hadn't won in a while.
All right. It's definitely, a great feeling for us. Talking about it all week, we had to get the first one. Pretty excited that we got the first one. The energy's great in the locker room. It was great on the field. A lot of guys were saying, we got to win, and we found a way to pull through.
In the running game in the second half, how much did that just energize the offense, and what does that do for the group in general, for you and everyone, when that running game's going like that?
Whenever we run the ball, moving it, that's pretty good for us, because it allows us to open up the offense a little bit more, run a little bit more play action, because they don't know how to contain the run or how to stop the play action. So shout out to the running backs, Trevor, Montrell, and Naquan for busting the holes and hitting it in the right gaps. Shout out to the O-line for moving some guys out the way for us. But the running game helped us out a lot this game.
You have it yourself.
Yeah, just a little something.
Go to Zach and then Mark.
On that note, Anthony, what'd you see on the 4th and 2, and how much did that run just get you going?
Coach Nate, right before it happened, he asked me what play we wanted to run. He gave me a few options, and I chose that one, because I felt pretty confident with that one. And I went through the progression, I moved the protection just to, pick it up a little bit. And somehow, some way, they covered up everybody, and I just looked down the middle, and nobody's there for me. So I just tried to manage the game and just take off running, and that got me pretty crunk. And whenever we get a big game like that, the offense gets rolling. So I'm glad it happened.
And then how do you feel like you played overall today, and just kind of staying engaged when the offense wasn't moving, and then putting together those drives late?
I feel like I played decent, First half, there wasn't really anything spectacular that happened with the offense. We were moving it a little bit, but we couldn't capitalize on drives we couldn't finish. So I kind of took the burden on that and felt like we had to pick up something. So coming out in the second half, I felt like we had to switch up the energy, and I think we did that.
Following up on that a little bit, you had maybe a questionable fumble and an unlucky interception, 2 deep balls that could have been caught. Is it really that close between maybe what it is and what it could have been, like closer to spectacular on your part?
I think so. Big plays definitely help. Help you guys win games, because it makes you capture the momentum. And I feel like if we would have completed some of those passes or converted on some of the third downs, we probably would have had the momentum. Might have scored, might have not scored. We don't know, but sometimes stuff like that does matter in the game. But just got to find a way to bounce back and win.
Are you concerned about the turnovers? I think it's 5 straight games with at least one.
Definitely. Not so concerned with it happening, because it's football, things are going to happen. But Coach Napier says it every time, we got to post a 0, and we've yet to post a 0. So I'm trying to take in charge in that, just so we can limit the turnovers as much as possible.
Guys, we'll have Montrell Johnson available in the back for you guys.
Anthony, the rollout touchdown pass to Ricky, narrow window, man, and a really good throw and a really good route. Can you kind of walk us through that play?
On that play, we run a lot of play action, so I knew I had to try to capture the edge. A lot of teams play the edge strong against us, so I knew how to get my depth and just run around it. And I just went through my progression, looked at the corner route. It was a little muddy. The first under route was a little muddy, and I just so happened to see Ricky just running through the back, and I was like, okay, I got to hit him. And I just ripped it in there, and he caught it for me.
And what was the offensive halftime feeling like? I mean, is anybody jumping each other, coaches? Is it more just technical stuff? How's that go down?
No, I was just telling each other we just got to make plays, We were doing the things right. We just wasn't doing enough to, make the game any different. We were just doing our job, but we weren't doing it at an excellent level. And I feel like we kind of did that in the second half a little bit, but just the energy was just got to come out stronger, faster.
We'll go to Chris in the back real quick.
Anthony, you said after the Utah game that your heart kind of froze for a second when Coach Richardson said, hey, let's go win a game. And you said you hadn't been there before. Now he's asking you about 4th down conversions. So where do you feel that you have made a progression in your leadership and your ability to handle those big moments?
Whenever it's time to make a play, he calls certain plays just to get certain guys going. And he trusted me enough to go out there and play confident and get us in the right call and the right play and make something happen. So Utah game, when he first told me that, you know, I was a little starstruck because I've never been in a situation like that. But now I feel like it comes with the territory, and I have to be ready for those opportunities in those moments, you know. So I feel like I'm pretty confident with communicating with him and trying to, you know, make a play on offense.
Do you feel like that speaks to the progression you've made for yourself to say, look, you know, I'm a leader of this team and I'm playing and leading like I need to?
I believe so. You know, I still have room to improve. You know, always trying to get better as a leader, trying to communicate, trying to lead by example. Well, I feel like I've made a huge leap at that, but I'm just trying to keep getting better at it.
We'll go Lauren and then France.
Anthony, it looks like the last, particularly 3 weeks, that you've kind of been able to gather more from the offense. They've given you more concepts to work with and things like that, whether it be motion, sets, reads. Is that something that you guys talked about as the season progressed, adding more? Is that something you asked for? Or has it just been based on the game planning as a whole?
It's not. I don't think it's anything different. You know, it's just me communicating with Coach Nate. You know, first 2 weeks, you know, we would go through the game plan, and he would ask me what I felt, and I was like, you know, Coach, it's whatever you call him. I'm going to go out there and run it. But now I feel like I have a say-so in the calls that's happening. So we just communicate throughout the week what I like, what I don't like, and he tries to fine-tune it for us and try to get our guys open so we can win the game. And I feel like it's just communication that's helping us, you know, elevate as offense.
So was there any particular play that was a positive play today that you asked for personally? A play that you said, I really like that, Coach, and then it ended up being a positive play for you today? Anything that you can recall that you asked for?
I would say it was a positive. You know, the deep shots that we could have converted on, those are all plays I like. You know, I like going deep, you know, just to take the top off the defense, just to get us moving a little bit, you know. So those calls, I'm pretty confident in those, and I communicate with him, tell him I like those. You know, I think it's positive because they work, but, you know, we just got to pitch and catch a little better, as Coach Nate would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
You picked up 3 points from special teams. You pick up a touchdown from the defense, and then late in the game, you also had some very big defensive plays, even though you did give us some chunk plays on third down. Talk about how good it is to have the contributions from other areas on the team.
You know, I'm grateful, you know, because like you've seen this game, first half, the offense wasn't doing enough to put up points on the board or get the ball rolling for us. So the defense came up clutch. Special teams did their job whenever they had to. You know, so just having a team and a unit, which allows us to put up points and just play together and win the game together, you know, I'm grateful for it because we all win as one, we all lose as one. So.
Anthony, you talked earlier about the 32-yard run in which you did all the checkdowns until you finally took off. How much better are you getting with that internal clock and not just holding on to the ball and, you know, or, you know, looking for somebody to pass to and then just taking off? How much better are you at that?
I've improved a little bit. You know, I still have ways to go because sometimes I'm in there too long. Sometimes I'm out of it too quick. You know, so that's just something I have to continuously improve on. Just being confident with the checks and the calls and the routes and knowing the defense and the coverage. You know, but I think I made a slight improvement, but I can still, you know, work on that.
All right, we'll end with Edgar.
Yeah, Ventrell Miller, I was like noticing his uniform after the game. I mean, he was just covered in dirt and grass and just left it all out there. What does that do for this team? Just his presence and just his energy and production.
You know, having him, it's a blessing. You know, having a vet like that, a player like that, because he's a great player, and just seeing how hard he works, I think it brings energy and light to the team. You know, because it shows us that we have people willing to do anything for us to win, and it should spark something inside of us. You know, so I'm grateful to have Ventrell on the team. You know, especially being the leader of the team and the defense. You know, so just having him and watching him play, you know, is remarkable.
Do you get to watch him much when he's out there?
Oh, I always watch him.
Okay,
You know,
I was going to say, because his day-to-day was a monster day.
Just seeing him fly around like that is crazy. You know, I was talking to Kyle on the sideline, and we were just looking like, bro, Ventrell just flying around. And that's nothing new to us because he does the same thing in practice, you know, so we're just grateful to have him.
Appreciate it, Anthony. Thanks, man.
Thank y'all.
Thanks for getting it back. All right, guys, we're joined by Jaden Hill. Edgar, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, Jaden, congratulations.
Thank you.
When's the last time you had a pick six?
High school, junior year,
All right, so what year was that?
2018, 17, one of the years. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
What was that play like? What was your day like in general? 2 interceptions.
It was honestly, it's just a blessing, you know. Words can't even describe the feeling, honestly. I'm just grateful for being here, you know, being able to play.
We'll go to Nick and then Kevin.
You obviously any pick six or any interception, you're gonna feel good. But do you think maybe you appreciate it more, just having been forced away from the game for as long as you were?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's something that I'll never forget about ever in life.
And then what was when you got the first one? You just read the quarterback's eyes. It seemed like you had your eyes in the backfield, and he kind of telegraphed it a little bit, and you were able to jump on it.
Yeah, yes sir. And that was really the route that the combination, came from a lot of a film study. So honestly, like last night, that same exact play, I watched it like 3 times maybe. So yeah.
And then when you have that, is there any doubt in your mind? I mean, there's really no one in front of you.
Oh yeah. Wait, say that again.
Was there any doubt in your mind that you were going to return that for a touchdown?
Oh yeah. When I caught it and I seen just green grass, it was over. Yeah, nobody catching me. Yeah.
You were pretty opinionated about the importance of this game and beating Missouri and so forth. What was it like to kind of back up your words and be able to have that kind of performance today?
Oh yeah. So I know when I came out and said that, you know, a lot of people saying, look at the stats, the history. I'm like, man, I know what we supposed to do. We supposed to beat Missouri. Like that's something that we supposed to do. And what I said, I had to back it up, you know. So, and I came out there and I did that. But we did that, honestly.
Guys, we have Ventrell Miller available in the back. Go to Mark.
Yeah, Jaden. Coach was going through your ACL in high school, ACL here, LCL this summer. Is that all the same knee?
Nah.
Okay.
Both. Yeah, it was
Okay, so
different.
ACL on the right and then ACL and LCL on the left?
On the
Here?
right. No,
On the
ACL
right
and
here.
LCL on the right.
Okay,
ACL
here,
on
okay.
the left. Yes, sir.
So what does that do to you mentally? Does something like this erase all the mental, hurdles that you have to go through to get back and get back to where you feel like, I am who I was?
Yeah, so y'all probably don't even know it now. I was honestly supposed to be wearing a brace today. And before the game, it was just something that like this was my last week wearing it, but it's just before the game, I was just telling myself like I'm good. Like I went through pregame and I was moving around. I was like, man, I'm not wearing it. Like they came over and brought it to the sign. I'm just like, I'm not wearing it, you know? And honestly, it was just a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights, early mornings, a lot of tears. It was a grind, and my teammates, they kept me up throughout it. Ventrell himself, like he was one, he always on me. He never really let me be down. Like it didn't matter.
You kind of got mobbed by your teammates after the pick six, and again after the second one. It's got to feel pretty good that your teammates who understand what you've been through can really feel the moment with you, doesn't it?
Yeah, all my teammates come up full of joy. Some of them got teary-eyed. I'm like, man, come on, you know what I'm saying? We good. But it was just, I was happy for myself just seeing them being happy for me. It made me so happy inside.
Were your parents or family here today for homecoming?
Yeah, they are. They're here. So I know they excited. I know they're so excited. Yes, sir.
Mom and dad both, or and brothers and sisters
Brothers.
too?
My sister, she's at home right now, but my brother is here.
So how many in the family were here?
4. Yeah.
We'll go to Chris in the back, and then Kevin.
The first 4 possessions for Missouri, you guys tried 3 punts, had your pick six as well, and really kind of took advantage of some special teams miscues. How much energy, how cool was it to provide that spark for your offense to say, look, guys, we got them. Y'all take care of business, and they did. How cool was that?
Oh, it was amazing. Just to keep points off the board, set the offense up for success. It's nothing better than that, And at halftime, I was talking with the guys, and that one pick six I got, it just didn't feel like it was enough. Like honestly, I was like, man, I got to get it again. Like I feel it. Like, it was just something I felt, and I was like, man, I just feel like I'm gonna touch the ball again, and I came up with it.
And Anthony, you talked about how much joy he gets from seeing you guys play. You talked about how much joy your teammates get from watching you. What is it about this team that has bought in as one accountable for each phase of the game?
Wait, can you repeat the last part again?
What is it about this game that everybody's bought in to have joy for each other, not feel like, man, I'm not doing my job, I can't be happy for him?
And I feel like that's a lot, and that starts with Napier. Coach Napier, when he came in, he always just talked about how, like, everybody has a role. You know, everybody is not going to be on the field. So within yourself, you have to find something to, like, help the team out, and I feel like everybody's kind of, like, bought into that and, like, just show love. It's nothing, it doesn't hurt anybody, and just keep everybody up. You know what I'm saying? You see somebody down, help them up. Like, you know what I'm saying? People have bad games, you know what I'm saying? You can't bash them for that. You got to keep going and just help one another. Just, you know what I'm saying? So.
It looked like you did a pretty good job of jumping the route on that pick six. Did you read something in Brady Cook's eyes or anything like that? Or take us through how that came about for you?
Yeah, so like I said, I was watching that play on film, and so initially I was looking at the cue, and so from then I seen the drop step, and it was third and short, so I was like, oh yeah, it's quick game. So I read quick game, and from that, I just shot Ventura, got a good reroute on him, and so from then I seen the arm cut back, drove, and then the rest was, it's exciting.
What knee was the brace supposed to be on today?
Right.
Was today the first time you've played without it?
Yeah, practice and all.
Did you ever feel earlier in the week like you didn't need it, or was today
Yeah.
the first day that you felt
the whole week I was telling trainers, like, I'm done. And they was like, just get through this week, next week, you know what I'm saying, we'll go from there, you don't have to wear it. But this week I just, like, all week through practice I wore it, and today I just, like, I'm not wearing it.
And who did you tell before the game that you didn't want it?
Nobody. I told Coach Raymond I'm not wearing it, and right before we went out, the D went out there, Donovan, one of the trainers, came over with it. I was like, I just gave him one of those, and I was like, I'm ready.
And then on the second pick, what did you see on that play?
That was just trusting, just reading my keys. My Coach Raymond taught me, you know what I'm saying, just read my progressions and, you know what I'm saying, getting to him, and then eyes back to the quarterback, ball, you know what I'm saying.
And what did it mean for you to get honored in the locker room by Coach Nate afterwards?
Man, and like I said, I'm just grateful. I'm just blessed to, you know what I'm saying, still be, like, playing. I honestly wasn't even supposed to play this year. And I just feel like it's just an honor. I feel so good inside just being congratulated by my teammates, Coach Napier, and everybody, you know what I'm saying. Just seeing everybody happy for me makes me so happy.
I want to piggyback off of the question he asked about the second interception, because it came right after Anthony's 32-yard run and then the touchdown after that. How motivated, I won't say motivated, but how important was that to follow up the touchdown that gave you guys the lead? And again, I know you explained that second interception, but how big in your mind was it? Was it big as the first?
Oh, no. Honestly, the second one was bigger than the first because we literally held them to no points, you know what I'm saying? Because they could have kicked three right after. And every takeaway is good, but taking away and when they're in the red zone is different because, you know what I'm saying, that's points. And anytime you can take away points is great for the team, you know what I'm saying? So I was happy to set the offense back up for success with no points on the board, and that was great.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
That's all for tonight.